Hi everyone, thank you for being here today. Welcome to our very first webinar. We will start in a couple minutes to allow more participants to join as we started a couple minutes early. In the meantime, if you people can hear me, can you just type in a message in the Zoom group chat box so that I can see if you can hear me or not? Awesome. We will start shortly, and we're going to be talking about the international student application process. In the meantime, and before we start, I would like you all to know that you are on a listen-only mode, and you will not be able to unmute yourself. But if you have any comment or question for us, you can put it in the Zoom group chat, and we will try to respond to you either by the chat feature, or I will answer you at the end of the session. Awesome, let's start. Again, welcome to our webinar, and first I would like to introduce ourselves here. I am Mariam Shatila, the International Admission Technician, the one talking to you today. And I typically answer all your emails and process your application. And also I have our program coordinator, Rachel Wood, who will be helping me answer your questions and leave you a message in the group chat. So also you will be receiving some emails from Rachel at some point before orientation, and you will be working with her more a lot when you are here at Butte. As you know, that today I will be talking about the application process for our college, but first I will talk a little bit about our college, and I will start with our location. We are located in beautiful Northern California, which is about 120 kilometers north from Sacramento, the capital of California State. And as you can see here in the picture, this is our beautiful campus. And if you want to have a better view of our campus, I highly encourage you to check our virtual tour after our webinar, and we will provide you the link in the group chat in a few minutes. Also, on the map, you can see the closest city, Chico, where a lot of our students prefer to stay. Awesome, and you have the virtual tour link in the chat box. Next, I will give you quick highlights about our college and why choose our college. We know that many students would love to study in the United States, especially in California, but it might be financially challenging for some. So here's what you can do. By choosing to attend Butte College first, you can still achieve your dream to study in California at an affordable cost. And the chart here that I'm going to show you right now, you can see the tuition cost of two of our major universities in California. That is way higher than our cost. Also, the living in a smaller city like Chico is way more affordable compared to bigger cities in California like Los Angeles and San Francisco. So you can see the chart here where the information is. This is something that you need to take into consideration, especially that you are spending quite a good time here in the US. We also have some good news today for you. For all the new international students coming from outside of the country, we are offering $500 scholarship for students applying for this coming term, spring 2019. The amount will be taken off from your tuition of your first semester at the time of registration, and that happens during orientation. All you need to do is to apply by November 1st to be eligible for scholarship, and if awarded, you will be notified a week after the deadline. So apply by November 1st. Also, we have about 140 international students from 30 different countries. This is a good number of students that will allow us to have individualized student support. So when students come to our office, we know them well or enough to be able to help them to the best we can. Also, we have great programs that you can choose from, so make sure to check later on the link that we will provide also in the group chat box, and see what we offer. Okay, now let's start it. Let's get started with what we were here for, the application process. So how to apply to Butte College? You can start by clicking on the link that I will also provide in the chat box as well. And then once you click on this link, you need to go to the second tab where it says apply, and then you follow the 7 easy steps that I will walk you through the entire process. I'm just going to take you to this page. As I mentioned, the link will take you to the international student website, and then you go to the second tab, you click on apply, and then that will take you to the international application steps. Let's talk about step number 1. You have to click on here on the international student application. This is a 2-page form. I will click in here to show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is the application. You will have to fill out the information. It talks about the application information and your address in your home country, because all of that information is needed for the I-20 that we'll talk about a little later. Also, it will talk about language proficiency exam that we will talk further about in step number 2. One of the most important parts in this application as well is the emergency contact information, the release of information, and the certification box. So these boxes needs to be signed. So in order to sign them, you have to type in the information in the application, print out the application, and then sign it. Once you're done with that step, you can send it along with the supporting documents that we will talk about in a bit. So I'm going to click back here so that we can move on to step number 2. Step number 2 is the English proficiency test, or English proficiency. So students applying to our college will need to be at a certain level in English, and to be admitted to our college, you need to meet the requirement of one of the tests provided in this chart here. Each test listed is a hyperlink to the website of the test. So I'm gonna click in here to show you. That will take you to the TOEFL test, for example, and then you can search within the website for test centers and dates. I'm gonna go back for a second. Okay, and then within the same chart, it will give you, it shows here the minimum scores for our admission. And if you cannot meet our requirements, we do have an option for you, that is the conditional admission. Please send us an email to international@butte.edu that you can find here on the website, so that we can tell you more about it, because it has a separate application process. Step number 3, it consists of 2 different parts. The first part of it is the financial guarantee form that you can find here by clicking on this document. This form should be filled and signed by the person funding your studies at our college. So if you are going to be paying for your own studies here, you can fill out the form, and you can put the amount in US dollars in own savings, and then you can fill the rest of the page and sign it. Same as the application, you have to type in the information and then print it out and sign it. Also, if your sponsor is going to be paying for your studies, they will have to sign that document. And as you can see here, you can see the breakdown of the cost of 1 academic year, and that is what you have to show as a proof that you have the funding to study in the United States. Okay, so this is the financial guarantee, and remember we talked about 2 different parts for the step number 3, so I'm going to go back to continue the second part of it. The second part of it is the current bank statement, and The statement has to be recent, within 3 months, either from your sponsor, the one who's going to be paying for your studies, or if you are going to be paying for yourself, it will be your own bank statement. As I mentioned, it has to be recent and not older than 3 months. A quick note about sponsorship here for students sponsored by their government, such as a student from Saudi Arabia or Sweden. I would like you to know that we accept your CSN for students from Sweden and SACM for students from Saudi Arabia. We accept your sponsorships, and we have many students on our campus that are sponsored by their government, so we work with them all the time. So if anyone has a sponsorship from their companies or government, please let us know, and we can work with you. That was step number 3. Now we're almost halfway through the steps. Step number 4 is the health statement or negative tuberculosis test. This document here needs to be filled and signed by your doctor or the physician who did the test for you. Some students might have taken BCG vaccine, so they might be tested positive, and that means in that case you will have to provide vaccination record in English. Or if you haven't taken the BCG vaccine and you were tested positive, there are some extra steps that are explained here, such as chest x-ray, and your doctor has to fill out the form here explaining your condition. And similar to the application and the other forms, you have to print it out, and then your physician will have to sign it at the bottom. Okay, I'm going back so that I can check step number 5. This is only for students transferring from another school here in the United States, or if students are under the age of 18. These are the only 2 groups that are that are supposed to send their transcripts or academic records to our college. So if you do not fall under these categories, then you can skip this step. For the students who are either transferring or under the age of 18, you will have to send unofficial copies of transcripts for the purpose of admission. Also, for the students who are under the age of 18, there is another form that they have to submit here, along with the transcript form that needs to be submitted. Step number 6, it says here optional, a copy of your passport. I know it says here as an optional, but we would prefer that you send it to us if you have one, because this will help us when we create your I-20, so that we make sure that the information matches your passport. And I mentioned I-20 a couple times. I just want to give you an information in case you don't know. I-20 is the document that will allow you apply for a student visa. The last step on this application process is simply submitting all your documents. The fastest way for us is to receive your documents by email. I believe that's the fastest way out for you as well. You can send them by mail, and we do have the information here. But as I mentioned, the fastest way is receiving your documents by email. And as you can see, you have the email here as well. And we did provide the email address in the chat box for you as well. So you can send it to us as a PDF file or JPEG. So you can take a good pictures of your documents, or you can scan them and then send them by email. At this point, we are still accepting applications for spring 2019 term. The deadline is November 15, 2018 for students applying from outside of the US. But I would like to remind you, if you would like to be eligible, if you are looking to be eligible for the scholarship for spring 19, then you need to apply by November 1st. For transfer students, your application deadline is December 30th. Also, I would like to mention here that if you have taken IB or AP exams in your home country, please let us know, as you can earn Butte College credits while you are in your home country. you will save a lot of time, a lot of money and time by studying here at Butte College if you have taken IB tests in your home country. And to know more about the exams and the scores that we accept, please, you can either click here to see what we offer and what we accept. This is for IB and this is for AP transfer credits. We're going to be also providing these links in the chat box as well, so that we will make them available for you. Also, for the students who are curious, we have a picture here that you can click on for scholarship if you need to know more about the scholarship information. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my presentation just in a second. So a lot of students ask us what to expect after they submit their application and when would they hear back from us. So usually when students send us an email, they get a feedback from us within 2 to 3 business days. Also, if your application file is complete and you meet our admission requirement, we can issue your I-20 and acceptance letter within 2 to 3 business days. We try to work as fast as possible. Sometimes we have a lot of applications coming in, but we try to work with you as fast as we can. And as long as you meet our admission requirement, you will get an acceptance and I-20 from us. So meet our admission requirements and you will get accepted or admitted to our college. Another question we get a lot is receiving the original documents that we talked about, the I-20 and the acceptance letter. The original documents are required for the visa interview. And in the acceptance email that we will be sending you after you apply, we will be sending the instructions as an attachment for shipping your documents by either the standard mail or the express mail. So what's the difference between standard and express mail? Standard mail is on the school expense, and it might take up to 45 days. And I have seen some cases where it took even longer or that long. And unfortunately, there's no way to track the standard mail after it leaves our office. On the other hand, the express mail is on the student expense, and it might range anywhere between $80 and $100. It is delivered within 3 to 4 business days typically, but I've seen packages delivered by the latest, like by a week, because it happened probably over the weekend. Also, there's a tracking number for the packages. Depending on when you are in the process, if you have sent your application and your file is complete early enough, you would have the option to either receive your documents by standard mail or express mail. But sometimes if you're like so late and you're heading toward the deadline, we would recommend that you would go for the express mail, just because we know how tight the situation is and you need to probably schedule your interview, so things has to be received, your documents needs to be received on time. Sometimes we would recommend that you would go for express mail, but if you apply early enough and you plan ahead, then you get to choose either or. Okay, that was the last thing that I wanted to share with you today, and now it is your turn. So if you have any questions, please type it in the group chat and we will answer your question here. I'll be waiting for you to send us your questions. And if you don't have any, that's okay. Awesome. We don't have any questions. And I know that that's a lot of information and you might have some questions later on after the webinar is over. So please feel free to contact us. We are here to assist you and answer your questions. So you can either send us an email or a Skype chat with us during our business office. So we are available Monday through Thursday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time, and Friday from 8 to 12. That is for the Skype chat, but for the email, you can send us email anytime, and we will respond back to you whenever we can. So here's our information. Please make sure to send us any of your questions. And to know more about what we do and on our campus, and to know more about the future webinars, please like us on Facebook and check our videos on YouTube, as we have some good videos from our students who have been through this journey here at Butte. So you get to see what they have to say about Butte College. And don't forget to apply right now. Thank you for being here today, and we will be sending a recording of this webinar in case you didn't get the chance to join us from the beginning, or if you want to forward it to your friends or relatives, please feel free to do that. Have a wonderful rest of your day and stay tuned for another webinar. Thank you.